On to our first legend of Mount Shasta. These are, I would say, these Mount Shasta legends I'm kind of I know a lot about these.
You're a Mount Shasta buff.
I'm a Mount Shasta legend buff. So the first one is Saint Germain on Mount Shasta, and so Saint Germain, if you've never heard of him, he is a legendary spiritual, quote-unquote, master of the ancient wisdom, and he's been quoted a lot in some religious teachings. A gentleman by the name of Guy Ballard, he lived on the base of Mount Shasta in 1930, and he used to hike up the mountain all the time. And he claimed in 1930 to have multiple encounters with this spiritual being Saint Germain. And throughout his encounters, Saint Germain would basically teach him these ancient wisdoms, and so much so that Ballard wrote a series of 20 books about the encounters. And he described him as like this ascended master, which I don't know exactly what that means, but it's kind of like Jesus. You know, he's trying to assist humanity, quote unquote. So the third book contains material that was used for the scriptures of what is now the I Am movement, which is basically a religious movement in Mount Shasta,
which we're familiar with.
We are very familiar with the I Amers, they call them, and they have a whole facility there in Mount Shasta, and it is it's an interesting story. There's actually a lot of historical stories, both before and after Guy Ballard, of people coming across this Saint Germain. And so, one could deduce that, Ballard saw these other visions of Saint Germain and used it to write this book series and create this movement, in which I'm sure it was a financial profit. It was a very profitable venture for him. So today, there's still there's a million people in the I Am movement. It's a big movement.
Legend turned to full on movement.
Yes, there are a lot of words.
People live in this, in this world. The world that this was started by. This Saint Germain was started by, kind of.
Right, and there's been a lot of books about Saint Germain, and the stories on Mount Shasta. Obviously, we could never prove if any of this happened. Sounds like a classic. Hey guys, I saw this thing up on the mountain. Buy my book type of thing. But nonetheless, it's still a huge movement in Mount Shasta, and people can do whatever they want. They can believe whatever they want, and it is a cool story. And I've never read any of these 20 books from Ballard, but it is a full-on religious movement in Mount Shasta today, based on these visions from Saint Germain.
And Mount Shasta, I didn't really realize this growing up, is a really spiritual place. Like every other shop is like a rock shop, crystal shop.
Nowadays it is, yeah.
And I didn't really realize that when I was a kid. And a lot of that stuff started with Saint Germain, and kind of the origin. There's other things that bring spirituality to the area, but this is a big part of it.
The Native Americans obviously thought of Mount Shasta as the ultimate spiritual, destination. We talked with Andrew Oser over there in Mount Shasta. He does these spiritual guided tours on the mountain, and he said there's absolutely areas where you can feel something, right?
You did a full-on meditation session.
I did a full-on meditation.
Feel spiritual?
It was nice. It was nice. I don't know. I felt something. There's something about being in nature and experiencing that. And sometimes the increased elevation helps you feel a little, high or whatever. But
you were being forced to meditate on video.
I was not being forced. I wanted to.
Basically, what I'm trying to say, I'm giving you an out because I was sitting there filming the whole time, moving back and forth to 2 different cameras, checking the audio level, and you're listening to him. So it probably wasn't as spiritual of an experience for you as it could have been.
No, I actually enjoyed it quite a bit, and I like Andrew. I like, you know, and they talk a lot about just these different feelings you can get. And he said it's for any religion. You know, you can just really, you know, feel the mountain and feel nature when you're out there, and use it to meditate and clear your mind and find this healing power within meditation, which the I am movement is something I would think a little bit different, where you actually have these different beliefs and sacred scriptures and stories from this guy in 1930.